Hello! Today I will show you how to work this super beautiful and airy stitch pattern. As you can see, it is very open, the gauge is loose, and I can tell you that it's really fun to knit. It's not frustrating at all. It's pretty easy and it works up really fast. I've knit all this 40 centimeter wide piece like to about 20 centimeter length in maybe hour and a half or so. So it's really fast, really fun, and in my opinion beautiful. And yeah, I want to share it with you all. Okay, so here I'm using 4mm or US 6 size needles, as well as for that bigger piece, and fingering weight yarn. I've casted on 22 stitches here, so you need to cast on multiple of 4 plus 6 stitches for the edging. And I've used long tail cast on here, and I already purled across with one row, so we have a bit of an edge here and our cast on facing the right side. And yeah, from here we can begin our chart. So the first 3 stitches are the edging, that's outside of the repeat, and for those you just, okay, not a good start, knit 1, then SSK or slip slip knit. It will be slanting to the left on the chart, and yarn over, and that's our edge. And from here we start the repeat. So the repeat is yarn over. So yes, there are 2 yarn overs side by side, but that's what we want, and that's what we will see a lot in this stitch pattern. And so yeah, yarn over, knit 2 together, SSK, and yarn over, and repeat, yarn over, knit 2 together, SSK, yarn over. Okay, and our last 3 stitches, yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. That's it, that's our first row. And now second row is a wrong side row, and right off the bat I can say that all wrong side rows will be just purled across, but I will show you this one because of those 2 yarn over side by side and how you treat them. So here we have our 2 yarn over side by side. So what you do, you just treat each yarn over as a separate stitch. So you knit, purl 1 wrap, and then you do exactly the same and purl another wrap. And what you get is kind of this single looking stitch, but with 2 wraps. But this will be treated the same. Each wrap will be treated as separate stitch. So carry across in the same manner. Also, what happens if you accidentally lose that 1 wrap, like this? I've just lost 1 wrap. I've purled 1 but lost another. So you just, with your left hand needle, go into this lost stitch from the front and yeah, you put it back on the left needle and purl it or knit it if you're on the right side. At first the stitch can feel a bit wonky to work, but once you get in the rhythm, it's actually quite easy. And the third row will be just knit across or worked in stockinette. So you do exactly that, and once you meet that double wrap stitch, you just knit each wrap as a separate stitch. So this travels until the 5th row, where we will resolve this situation. So just knit across. And purl across. Now the 5th row will be worked almost exactly the same as the first one. It will be just shifted by 2 stitches, but yeah, let's work through it together and pay attention at the edges. So you knit 3, and you see that the first stitch you knit is already one of those 2 wraps, so you knit 1 wrap. And now the next symbol where we start our repeat is SSK, so you just SSK that wrap with the stitch on the left. And 2 yarn overs. And knit it together. And as you can see that we're knitting together one of those wraps with the stitch on the right, and SSKing together another wrap of the stitch on the left. And that's how we resolve this double wrap situation and create the new hole in between these 2. So carry on with the repeats until you have 3 stitches left. Sorry if it's hard to see what I'm doing. It's not easy to film this, but yes, knit it together, and we have 3 stitches left, or 2 stitches and 1 wrap, as I call it. So just knit, knit, and knit. And the last row of the repeat is wrong side row, and we just purl across. And that's the whole 8th row repeat. Also, what I have to say about this stitch pattern, that it's a bit tricky measuring gauge, because as you saw, it is a 4 stitch repeat, but since we are working those double wrapped stitches and 2 yarn over side by side on the fabric, you actually can count only 3 stitches as a repeat, because the repeat is this diamond from here to here. I can count only 1, 2, 3 stitches, but you need to know that this is 4 stitches worked. So keep that in mind when you are working with the stitch pattern and doing your math. Okay, that's it. Good luck.